it broke. The wheel fell off the wagon, so to speak, and you had a broken truck on December 26th.
Man, it's so disappointing with the steps that he did take. You mentioned the scores, by far from a finished product, but he's just a mess. And I wonder, there's two ways to go about it, Matt. There's two ways to go about, I think, the way you handle Johnny. I guess three ways. One, you release him, which sends the message that, hey, if you misbehave, you can get out of Cleveland. I think that's the wrong message. Two, you trade him to where he wants to go. Send him to Jerry, even if it's for a 6th-round pick, get something. That's why I don't think cut him. If you can get anything, even if it's a low-round draft pick, get something for him. And
it'll be a conditional 7th if you get anything.
Well, you know what? I mean, then something. But the other side of it, which I think is very interesting, is you RG3 him. Do what Washington did with Robert Griffin III. You bury him so deep in the depth chart, he'll never see the light of day. He's got to sit there and be forced to be humbled, and he'll be such a non-factor and out of the spotlight that he'll either learn or the Browns just say, hey, you know what? We're not going to set the example that if you misbehave, you get what you want. You're not a baby. You're supposed to be a man and a pro athlete. And if you're not going to act like it, then we're going to bury you. Which side would you go, especially with Hugh Jackson as new head coach?
I'd like to say I could bury him and put him third on the depth chart, deactivate him the whole season, but I still think he'll find a way to be a distraction, and then you'll have to cut him because you cannot trade him at this point. Nobody would be willing to do that. If you can get anything for him, I'm of the mindset that you trade him, you cut bait, you get him the hell out of town because he's not very good for this team. And I think if you bench him, he's just going to whine and bitch and hold regular press conferences where he just complains about he should be the starter. And I don't see that being good for the team. I see him, as long as he's on the team, he's a distraction for who's ever the starting quarterback. Yeah. Because there's always going to be that elephant in the room. And pardon my French, by the way. I didn't mean to let that one fly.
That's fine, buddy. But there's the quarterback question now is so up in the air. And Hugh Jackson, quarterback himself out of college, has been a quarterback coach, offensive mind, a little bit of defense too, defensive backs coach when he joined Cincinnati 2012 after his head coaching stint in Oakland. So we're going to get into, I think, starting maybe on Monday's show, Matt, we'll start dissecting some of the quarterback draft options now that all the bowl games are done and start going through that with Hugh Jackson in charge. You know what? Do you want to hear some of the tweets that we got in?
Yeah, why not? Let's go for it. Let's hear some positivity about this franchise for once.
That's right. In the Barkov. Okay. At AndyMC81. At Matt Florjancic. So we have from at 35 start. Says Jimmy is giving it his all. Bravo. All very positive, by the way. We have from at Duda Mawa. Says maybe the start of a bright future. Go Browns. Gotta love that. Had a Bengal fan that follows us. Says it's just so damn frustrating to lose Hugh. Take that, Cincinnati. And on Twitter as well from Kelly, great friend of the show, at KColvin60. I'm actually excited for once. Hugh Jackson seems to have a winning mindset, players coach, and NFL experience, and the top choice. And I think that's the key here, Matt. This wasn't Mike Pettin, the 8th choice. This wasn't Chudzinski, a 6th, 7th, whatever choice. This was a guy that the Browns targeted. And honestly, I would much rather have him than Adam Gase. That guy seems like a flatliner written all over him who's benefited from great quarterbacks. I'm going with Hugh Jackson. He was my top choice. More importantly, he was the Browns' top choice, and they actually got their guy, and they are being applauded across the league. It's still so foreign to feel positive around this. It's just different.
But it's a good difference. It's a welcome change to an organization that has known nothing but since '99. They went out, they got their guy. They let everybody else interview where they were going to interview. Miami got Gase, Chip Kelly. As we were just coming onto the air, it broke that he's now with the 49ers.
Really?
So they went out and they got the guy that they wanted, and that's to be commended. It's about time.
They really did. San Francisco enjoyed Chip Kelly in that tough division with zero defense. Have fun with that. Matt, that was our mini edition of the Dawg. We'll be back. We'll do it again Monday. Full show.
Sounds good, Andy. Take care and have a great weekend.
All right, you too. For Matt Florjancic, our Browns insider from WKYC Sports in Cleveland, I'm Andy McNamara. Follow us on Twitter at AndyMC81, at Matt Florjancic. We'll talk to you Monday, folks. Hugh Jackson, new coach of the Cleveland Browns. You've been listening to The Doghouse, your inside look at the Cleveland Browns.